back to another episode of Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, David, and here with me are my co hosts, Jeremy and Caleb. And tonight we are bringing you our fourth nerd therapy session. We're going to kick off our shoes, sit back on that uncomfortable 30-year-old looking couch, and talk to some old lady about our nerd feelings. Except that old lady is going to be all of us and you in the audience there. And if you're in the chat with us tonight, you can be that old lady too. So we can all just have a good time with an old lady on a therapy couch. Let's do some nerd therapy. But before we do that, go ahead and follow us on our socials: X, TikTok, Instagram at Why So Sidious Pod. TikTok's still blowing up, of course, so just keep it rolling. We want to hit 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. I don't know. We'll see. And go ahead and follow us on our YouTube. Slowly but surely growing as well. If you've been watching The Penguin on Max, I have good news for you. We have been covering that the entire time along the way. So we have every episode so far reviewed and discussed. We've done a recent Week in Geek where we covered our thoughts on the news coming out in the nerd world of that week. And we just most recently dropped a top 5 most wanted future Star Wars projects. Jeremy here had our good friend and longtime fan of the show, Cody, on to discuss Star Wars being in shambles and what there is to look forward to. So he's been on a couple of our episodes. It was cool to get him back in the studio. And yeah, we're going to keep rocking out this Penguin. We're going to cover Venom, I think. Caleb and I are going to go see Venom: The Last Dance. JD has already seen it. It might end up being a very short episode if we do it. There's been not raving reviews about it, pretty mid-level reviews, so we'll see what comes from that. But make sure to tune in. We'll let you know if we're going to do it or not, or how long.
Non-spoiler, it's 6, high 6s out of 10.
So real quick, better or worse than Let There Be Carnage?
I liked it more than Let There Be Carnage.
Okay, all right, that's all I needed to hear. That's
yeah.
A little bit of a boost to go into it, so that works for me. And Caleb, you just watched Let There Be Carnage, right? What did you think of it?
Yeah, right before we started recording, I watched it for the first time because I did enjoy the first one, but the second one didn't get great reviews. Wasn't super excited to see it, and yeah, it was pretty mid. I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. I did enjoy the third act. The final fight inside the church is pretty cool. The CGI is cool. The transition, how they transition from like human back to Venom, is always cool to see. So there were some cool moments, but yeah, the plot was kind of weak.
Yeah. Felt like Woody was used in a weird way. Like that's a really
That's
solid
what I said.
actor, and it didn't really land, which I felt like it could have. He's done psycho roles before, like he's done some
Right.
crazy stuff before, but it just felt like either he wasn't given the material to do it or he did not care that much. I don't know which one it was. I'm not saying anything, Woody, but it was just, it didn't hit. All right, well, enough about random Venom sidetrack there. Let's get into our nerd therapy session, and it's a spooky one because 'tis the season. And since 'tis the season, I want to hear everyone's top 3 Halloween movies. It is the end of October here. It doesn't have to be horror, but it also can't be purely horror with no Halloween aspect. There's got to be something in it to be on this list that has to do with Halloween. You can't just pick Hereditary. I don't know if Halloween's involved in that one or not, but I don't think it is. So, Caleb, you're kind of our leading correspondent on Halloween. Well, start us off here. What's your top 3 Halloween movies?
Yeah, it was kind of tough because a lot of horror movies have nothing to do with Halloween. So it was hard to pick through. I mean, I do have one OLI, and it's kind of cheating, but it does take place over Halloween, and that is the Batman. So there is the first murder takes place on Halloween. So there
fair
it is.
enough.
But no, for real, I put Hocus Pocus in there. That is just a classic from
Okay.
my childhood. Love that
Yeah.
classic Disney movie.
You'd love Agatha.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's definitely Hocus Pocus vibes. And then we have Trick or Treat. Has anyone seen Trick or Treat? With
Yeah,
the
that's on
little
my list.
Sam, the little guy who runs around in the like a
The pumpkin?
sack over his head. Yeah, he's
Or
like a
whatever
pumpkin.
it is.
But
I've
it's like
just
a
seen
bunch
the
of,
DVD cover.
It's like short stories, right? And he's like involved slightly in all of them. It's kind of like a Tales from the Crypt type of movie.
Kind of scary too. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
And then
interesting.
my number one, it's Halloween, and I'm gonna pick the 2018 one, the first one of the newest reboots. I really do enjoy that one. It's a newer kind of style on the movie. Jamie Lee Curtis comes back. Michael Myers has some pretty great like style kills in that one too. So,
is that the Rob Zombie one?
No, that's
No.
Rob Zombie. Oh, actually, that was on TV the other day. Like the first half of it's like an origin story where it's like a young Michael
when he's
Myers.
a kid and he kills his sister.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which I don't remember when that was.
2000s.
What year? Yeah. Well, it was
07 maybe.
Was it that long ago? Oh my God, it was. Wow. It was 2007. That's wild. I'm so old. Okay. All right.
I had to put Halloween on the list. Come on.
Yeah. No, I agreed. JD, what do you got?
Halloween's on my list too, 100%. Even just the theme song, dude. If I take my kids trick or treating and I don't hear that theme song playing in someone's front yard while they go ask for candy, I'm gonna be disappointed. You know, that theme song is so iconic. And my 2-year-old actually loves it. We played it for him one time, and now he's in the car and he's like, Halloween song, Halloween song.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm like, I'm down, Grayson. I'll put that on right now. Let's do this. Halloween for sure. I think the best ones are all the first of all the eras. Rob Zombie's first one, that new reboot with Jamie Lee Curtis, that first one, and the very first one. Those are all the best.
Right.
The original Halloween 2, I think, is really good too. And I had Trick or Treat. I don't love the movie, but it is very Halloween oriented and it is kind of spooky. So I went with Trick or Treat. And then Nightmare on Elm Street, even though it's not very Halloween-esque, I totally associate it with Halloween in my mind. Every year I think about Nightmare on Elm Street. Just the original one. I think the rest of the series is ridiculous. Just so
There's some
weird.
Bad ones. Really bad ones.
But the first one's awesome, and Freddy Krueger just feels like Halloween to me. So there you go.
Straight up. I think that's fair. So yeah, Halloween's not exactly my kind of deal. It was just kind of hard for me, like, to even pick 3 Halloween movies that I enjoy. So like, Halloween horror not at the top of my list when it comes to watching things. But so my number one is, well, I don't know. This wasn't really ranked 1 to 3. It was just, all right, I can find 3. I can do this. So the first one on there is Halloween, the original. The very first one. Used to watch that on AMC all the time. I think that was definitely the first Halloween movie I watched, and AMC always played those movies every Halloween, and so I would always watch that on cable. I'm sure it is. There you go. I was going to say when I lived with my parents in high school, and before then, it'd be on, and I'd throw it on there. So that's got to go up there. It's a classic. Hocus Pocus is on my list too, mainly because, again, I don't watch much Halloween movies, and that was one of the ones I watched growing up a decent amount. And I can still remember bits and pieces of it, and remember thinking Sarah Jessica Parker was pretty baby in that movie there back in the day. And then my number 3, which feels weird saying, but I think it makes sense, and that's Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes, Christmas is in the name, yeah, but there's a very strong Halloween vibe throughout the whole thing. Yeah. So that's my other one, because, again, that's something I watched growing up a lot. And that one's a classic. I mean, that's a solid all-time movie. So those are my 3 there. So,
I was hoping you had a funny opportunity to say Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and Halloween
I
3.
almost did. I almost did.
It would have been Halloween 1 Rob Zombies, and Halloween 2 the original. So it would have been the first 2 original Rob Zombies for me, and I was kind of close.
That's funny.
Outside of the Halloween thing, Halloween is my favorite slasher film, period, anyway. I love Michael Myers. I love that theme song.
Straight up. The theme song's iconic all time. Just stuck in my head right now, actually.
But Freddy vs. Jason is my favorite of all of those
That's
movies.
so good, yeah.
Saw that JD's for the first time ever back in the day, actually.
Hell yeah. I missed that. I want the sequel. Freddy winked at the end.
Right?
He did. I remember the wink.
There was
Bring
a
it
report
back.
today they're bringing a Scary Movie 6. The Wayans brothers are coming back, and it's been long enough. I feel like it could work.
Yeah, what is Saw 15 coming out too?
Yeah, right.
It depends how willing they are to cross the line on stuff. Like, are the Wayans brothers in a position
true.
where they can cross the line and poke the bear, or are they going to try to be playing as clean as possible because they're trying to make a career comeback in Hollywood? So if it's the latter, I'm not really interested. If they want to push boundaries and get back to the first and second movie where there was some wild stuff in that, I'll give it a shot, but I'm skeptical on that one.
Which is interesting. If they want to make their career back for themselves, they should poke the bear. They should push
Right.
the boundaries. But
Right.
that's us as fans. But the system that controls them tells them not to. So, like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
Or just put it
They
on
might want
Netflix.
that easy paycheck. Yeah, Netflix will pay them out the ass for just absolute garbage, but they're pretty good at doing that. A lot of horrible Netflix originals out there, but all right, let's roll into the next category of this nerd therapy session because it's gonna be a long one. We got a lot to cover, so we're gonna ding, ding, ding. Bring the fighters to your corners. It's time for another couple of bouts in the nerd octagon. JD, who are our fighters tonight?
All right, we have a triple threat here. All right, so we're gonna go with all the live action Hulks. Who wins a fight with the Banner Hulk, the Norton Hulk, or the Mark Ruffalo Hulk? Who wins this?
I know JD's not saying Mark Ruffalo. I mean, his Avengers moments are pretty badass.
I'm basing it off the first two Avenger movies. Nothing after that.
Yeah, right.
Ridiculous treatment of.
That's fair. Dude, weirdly enough, Banya's Hulk was
Savage.
jumping like 10 miles at a time, like had some pretty wild feats he was doing in that movie. But I think I'm just going to go Norton because Norton just was the scariest of them all. His Hulk was like, oh my God, I would not. Ruffalo's like, I feel like you'd run into him and it'd be like coin toss. This guy's either going to kill me or he's going to be kind of funny to watch do some stuff.
Kind of a dum-dum.
Norton's, I'm getting the hell out of there.
Oh
I think
man.
I think I have to agree with Dave, especially since Mark Ruffalo's kind of that goofy Hulk.
I got Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Love.
I was gonna say Avengers 1 and 2. He wasn't goofy Hulk yet. He was still pretty.
Right.
He was pretty gnarly in those two.
Can you picture Norton's Hulk punching that thing to a standstill, whatever was flying through the sky, whatever the hell those things are called? I don't know. I don't know if I could picture Norton's Hulk doing it. He is scarier. He's way cooler. The design's better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't
to
see him
think.
doing that.
Trying to think of feats he pulled off in that movie.
Not much,
He
right?
didn't have a ton of massive scale stuff. I mean, mopping up the Abomination. The
Kinda,
only
though.
Hulk fight we have, he got beat by Hulkbuster and Thanos, but that's not exactly the Abomination. Thanos is a little
But
above that. So
The Abomination was working the Norton Hulk, like the whole time until he like started hitting him with a couple cars and
yeah.
hit him with the Lucky Hulk smash and choked him out with chains.
I'd have to rewatch it. I thought Hulk had a little bit more. I know at points Hulk was getting his ass whipped during that fight, but I thought it was a little more even until he started choking him with the chains. But yeah, I mean, Mark Ruffalo has bigger feats. He's shown more strength levels in cinema than Edward Norton's Hulk has, for sure, I would say. But I believe in Edward Norton's Hulk. I think he could knock out that space whale, too. Give him a chance.
I know we haven't seen it. We haven't seen him tested like that. He's way cooler. He's way cooler. That design is so sick.
No, but Hulk in Avengers 1 and 2 is savage. Like, he still looks pretty intimidating.
I'm
He
switching
does.
to Professor Hulk.
Oh, no.
He's gonna figure out a way to win.
He's gonna give him a couple of tacos. Head on out with a smile on his face.
The way he chucked that boulder in She-Hulk was pretty cool. But I mean, you just threw a rock. That's the coolest thing you did in the past 10 years.
Speaking of boulders, Edward Norton had a pretty more badass looking boulder throw during that lightning storm.
He did. I forgot about that. This guy's always throwing rocks.
Did he do that when Natasha died? Or was it
No,
the
he
bench?
did.
Yeah, that was a bench.
Oh, okay.
He sent that thing flying.
And like all of us can toss a bench. Maybe not that far, but come on.
Definitely not that far.
All right.
All right.
What else you got?
All right, one more. You guys have played God of War, yeah?
No.
Yeah. so many times that
damn
I
it.
can't even remember how many times it's been.
Kratos?
Close to zero.
Kratos versus Thor, and which was actually seen in the Thor the God
Yeah.
of War Ragnarok
God of
game.
War
But I wanted
Ragnarok.
to see MCU Thor versus Kratos. Man, love, I really was counting on at least you playing God of War.
I know. It's a game. It's on my long list of games to play.
It's a good game.
Right.
I've never owned a PlayStation, so that's why I never really
that's
had a
true.
chance there. But so weirdly enough, I've seen a ton of clips on YouTube, just so many different clips, and I always stop and watch them because it gets my interest every time, and it's of God of War Ragnarok. And so the more I stopped and watched those, the more they started giving me older God of War game clips to watch and all the cutscenes. He's pretty insane, bro. He did
He's
some
crazy.
massive strength level feats in those games. So like, I don't want to say him just off of some of the YouTube clips I've seen.
Right.
Like,
Because in a video game, you can get way more powerful than an MCU movie.
Right.
There's
Star
no
Killer.
limits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll agree, Kratos.
well, what would you say, JD? Because
I think
you've
it's
got that
Kratos.
experience. Okay.
The dude has taken out straight up gods, like from mythology, like Poseidon, I think Zeus, and you got to beat Thor at the end of the game anyway. And I think the game Thor might be even stronger than the MCU
I'd
Thor.
imagine.
Doesn't he fight the world snake or the world serpent or whatever?
Yes.
And that thing like
Yeah.
is insanely on another level.
Yeah. I will say God of War Ragnarok, I don't think was as good as the remake God of War from a few years ago. But Thor was
Really?
the best part of that. Like their dialogue, like when they talk and fight or communicate, like anything, when he shows up, Thor is scary, dude. It's really satisfying.
I was seeing those clips and picturing like, I wonder what it would have been like if they went that direction for MCU Thor, like more kind of, well, he's kind of fat like the Avengers Endgame, but just
Yeah.
more rough around the edges and savage, but way more untamed than the Thor we
Yes.
see in the MCU.
It's
That'd be
badass.
interesting. Yeah,
Crossing fingers for Thor 5 for at least going towards that vibe.
that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Kind of sick. Yeah. All right, fighters, back to your corners. The fight is over. I don't know who won. Well, we do. Kratos won. He won out of that. The Hulk thing, we'll have to go for round 2 and get some more extensive data there. Fighters of the corners. The Nerd Octagon fights are over. Let's head on to the next category of this Nerd Therapy session, and that is going to be something that we have seen on screen many a times to our disappointment. It's not every day that a major movie takes a villain from some other type of adaptation and just drops the ball on its portrayal in the movie. Just absolutely drops the ball. We've seen it countless times in countless franchises. So our next category is going to be the top 3 most butchered villains on screen. JD, let's start off with you on here. What do you got?
All right, I'll run through my 3. Obviously, Gore, and I kind of expect that on your guys' list. Gore was so sick in the comics, and it just didn't live up. It was terrible. He was in the goofiest movie. You had Christian Bale coming into the MCU as a villain, which none of us would have ever even dreamed of.
No.
And that should have been a top 3 villain all time in the MCU at least. So definitely Gore. That comic was amazing. Art by what's his name? He did Secret Wars, Assad Ribic. So I know, Dave, you like that artist. So that guy did the whole Gore story there. One of the best Thor stories out there. Second one,
Okay.
I'm sticking with Thor stuff, and it's Malekith. And oddly enough, this comes from the same exact Thor run. So after Gore gets finished up with, Malekith comes into the picture and just it starts a war across the galaxy. And in Thor 2, Malekith was one of the worst villains. I kind of like him for what they did with him, but my God, with the potential of Malekith, they did nothing with him. So Gore and Malekith, oddly enough, from the same exact comic run written by Jason Aaron.
Well, and Malekith had a solid actor cast for him too, and he was, from everything I saw, totally underused. Christopher Eccleston. Oh my God, it's bad when I say he's this really solid actor, and then I forget his full name.
Yeah, so thanks, Thor franchise, for butchering villains. You turned the god of butcher into not butchering gods, and you decided to butcher your villains
Well, there you
as
go.
creators. My next one is Doomsday from Batman vs. Superman. Like, just turned into some useless abomination. That's not
the cave
Doomsday.
troll.
Yeah, he looks just like the cave troll, doesn't he?
Dude.
He, for what it's worth, he was fine in the movie. For what they did, it worked and it was fine. But Doomsday has so much more lore, like with the death of Superman and his whole creation. Like he evolved thousands of years, maybe hundreds of thousands of years, when his creators kept killing him off, kept putting him in planets to survive until he evolved to be the creature of pure destruction that he came to be. His backstory is amazing. His first big appearance in comics was amazing. The death of Superman, killing each other with a punch. So, I mean, he was just turned into some weird zombie. And it was kind of cool how they revived Zod in that way and turned him into Doomsday. Like, as far as like changing the comics going to a movie, that's kind of a cool concept. But that's not Doomsday. That's just not.
So I will say it's interesting that there was a different concept they used to create him there, because the show Superman and Lois that I've said I've watched, and the last season ended off with a cliffhanger with Doomsday and Superman. And the way Doomsday was created in the show, I won't say, but it's very different from what it was in the movie. And I kind of like it to an extent. I thought it was a creative way to do it. But again, I don't have a comic background to it. But it seems like every interpretation, they do the creation of Doomsday in a different way. From everything I've seen like 3 different ways he's been created. So I have no idea what the actual way was in the comics. But yeah.
You text me I want to see what he happened in Superman and Lois. You got to let me know.
Word. I'll roll into this. So, yes, Gore is on my list. You said everything. You ruined Christian Bale. You're going to the top of the list of most butchered villains. You just freaking blew it. And the worst part about it is he actually was kind of dope in the tiny amount of screen time he got, but they just did not use him enough. And anyways, my number 2 is going to go to Doctor Doom and Fant Four Stick. It just didn't. There was nothing. It just didn't seem like Doctor Doom at all, other than the fact that his name was Victor Von Doom. He had some pretty savage kill scenes, a couple kill shots, but it just didn't feel at all like Doctor Doom. It felt like 11 from Stranger Things. Like, I don't know. It was just bad. It looked bad. The look was awful. It looks like a test crash dummy. I mean, it was just weird. And then my third one is the Green Goblin from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Good call.
Dane DeHaan. It's not his fault, but God, the costume design and everything is just disgusting. And it wasn't even like an intimidating. It was just like, it felt like it was a sick, dying kid who was lashing out at people. It was just like, what the hell is this abomination thing here that's flying around cackling? It was bad. It was a freak. I don't even care. He was a freak. He should have just died and not injected himself with that. It was just bad. It was just a bad way to go. One of the worst parts of that movie. I did have an OLI, just one single thing, but it was Galactus from Fantastic Four. He's barely in it, but they turned him into a cloud. I mean, it was just pathetic. It's not even butchered. It was just lazy. It was just really lazy. So
They ran out of money.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom and Galactus. I just avoided the taking comic movies seriously era. I avoided that.
That's fair.
Because Doom and
fair.
Galactus are like probably number 1 and 2 of all time. Like, though, that's terrible.
Yeah, I felt like that was like the start of it. Like if there was a worse X-Men villain, I probably would have thrown them in there, like the 2001 X-Men and stuff. But even that, I just thought, yeah, the Fantastic Four thing was just, oof. It was a tough one. Yeah. But that's fair. All mine were not even in the MCU. Well, no, Gore.
Yeah. I was going to say Apocalypse is another one. From,
Yeah.
That was bad.
But even that, I just rewatched that, and it's not good, but he at least has some scenes where he's like, whoa, this guy is pretty intense. So I appreciated a little more the last rewatch I had, but
There's some good stuff.
It's not good. Yeah. Love, what do you got?
I had Gore the God Butcher as well, but I'll push that to my OLI.
Oh.
Push it.
I have Enchantress, so
Yeah.
not in a way where
Good call.
I know who Enchantress was and I was excited to see her, but just being
It was just bad.
it was just bad, and being very excited for this Suicide Squad movie. Like the cast was awesome, the hype was awesome, the trailer was cool, and then it's just like, who is this person and like what's
belly
really going
dancing.
on? Yeah.
Enchantress.
So Pretty bad. Very butchered. The next I have the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. I mean, the hype, he's one of the biggest villains for Iron Man, and they just kind of threw it to the side. And then my number one is a combo of Steppenwolf and Darkseid. So only in a sense where the original Justice League completely kept Darkseid out of it and butchered Steppenwolf. And then in the Snyder cut, we finally get Darkseid, but it's like, okay, we're not going to see any of his future, so it was kind of butchered still, the whole overall story.
I think it was only butchered because we didn't get the next chapter. Because to be honest with
it
you,
was sick.
I think it was pretty freaking sick to see that in the Snyder cut. I don't know if it's because it was like a void that was filled from the previous Whedon cut, but I thought his scenes were so sick. It was just the story itself was butchered because we don't get to see the next part of it, and it was built up so well. Like that was built up sick. I couldn't wait to see them fight Darkseid.
I couldn't believe actually because again we didn't get him in the theatrical and for a director's cut kind of deal. I was pretty blown away. Again, yeah, the use was butchered. I agree. But the tiny amount we got him, I was like, he looks dope. Like, he looks super intimidating. The voice, and I believe his intimidation over his minions and everything. I was so ready to see more of that. So, yeah, the execution, or the follow-through, I guess, of it was butchered for sure.
And Enchantress was such a good call, dude, because I actually like Suicide Squad, but the villain Enchantress was the absolute worst part of that movie.
Right.
Yeah, that was rough. Was that the end of your list?
That was it.
All right. So let's hop into our next one. We are going to stick in the villain era here. We're talking villains, let's stick villains. We have had a lot of solid on-screen villains, and we're going to build our ideal squad. On-screen villains, 5 members. Thanos, Palpatine, Sauron, and Darkseid are off limits. Don't even think about it, all right? Don't even think about it. So we're going to build your ideal on-screen villain squad. Lub, you were last. Why don't you go kick us off on this one here?
Well, starting at point guard. Just kidding. No, but I got Voldemort. I know we talked about maybe he shouldn't be on the list, but he should be on this squad for me.
Let's show.
The master of dark arts. 7 Horcruxes can't be defeated unless you take them all down. So, gotta put him on the list. And then we said no Palpatine, but I'm going Vader. You need that man out in the front lines chopping people up, and he has the Force. Yeah. So
who's gonna kill the kids?
Hell yeah! And then I got Magneto. So, I mean, I try to pick one from each universe to try to spread it around, but Magneto, one of the most formidable villains. And then Reverse Flash. You need a speedster.
Oh, well, I guess he was in the Flash series.
Yeah. Hold on, time out. Is big screen only movies, or does big screen mean the TV?
Big screen is movies. I thought it was just on screen.
Okay, that works. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think it was big screen. So I think on screen, technically by the word of it, TV counts. I didn't even think TV. But yeah, we're count it. Reverse
Dumb
Flash.
Question.
Okay. And then to round it out, this is a wild card. We got Agent Smith. How you guys like that?
Wait, I do like it.
How you gonna defeat him? He's gonna keep multiplying.
It's kind of like Ultron in a way.
Yeah.
Wait. All right, this is gonna sound so dumb. Is Agent Smith
the Matrix?
Matrix, not Terminator. Yeah, Matrix. Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's exactly what you said. Yeah,
Hugo
the
Weaving.
Matrix.
Good call.
Elrond.
Yeah.
No, that's it. I like creativity of that. I didn't even think of that, but he is. That'd be scary as hell to have him on a villain squad because it's just straight up, just pretty much. Well, it's not. It kind of is AI, but Ultron and a little bit of government agent.
Yeah,
that's a squad.
Scary. All right, I like it, JD. Is your squad gonna beat him? What do you think?
All right, I have two people that similar to Caleb's. I have Darth Vader and I have Reverse Flash.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So next, I'm gonna go Zod from Man of Steel. That's a powerhouse right there. That's gonna be tough to stop.
Shoot.
Superman
Good
light.
call.
Yep. And then I do have Ultron himself, not Agent Smith.
There we go.
But the guy I thought you were talking about stupidly was the Terminator guy, which I almost put on my list. Like I don't know what
bad.
you want to call him. The guy who's like metallic and he could form and get shot and
Patrick,
live, all that stuff.
Peacemaker's dad.
Oh, no way. That's totally
Yeah,
true.
that's him. Something Patrick.
I've never connected those dots.
It's Robert Patrick. There you go. Yeah.
So Reverse Flash, Zod, Darth Vader, Ultron, and then Hela from Thor Ragnarok. Hela's a gangster. She's a savage.
She's a god.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right. So I had a Voldemort or something just in case Voldemort wasn't allowed on the list. I'm going to go ahead and kick him off just because, Lub, you already got him. So I'm going to go with my or something on that one.
Honestly, when I compare Voldemort against JD's team, it's like, who is he really going to defeat? You know, like if he gets a spell in real fast.
Just dead. Yeah. Well, you know, it all depends. Matchups are important.
He can like change into that dark shadow and like fly around as a shadow, and then
He's wild.
yeah,
No,
he's
I
got
think
some
he
crazy
could.
shit.
Yeah, he could definitely throw down. So I got Darth Vader too, the legend, and I have Ultron as well, because he's just pretty freaking unstoppable. Iron Man that can hack into everything and that can route everything. Vision's mind go. I mean, he's pretty damn intimidating and why can't I think of the word? Capable. Third one, Saruman.
Oh,
We didn't see a whole lot of him in action. We only saw a little bit, but every time we did see him, he beat Gandalf, and he is a very, very powerful wizard.
he wiped the floor with Gandalf.
He just lost to some trees
Literally.
because he didn't think of that.
Then he forced
Yes.
Gandalf to breakdance. Or he got against his will.
Sounds pretty cool. All right, and then Ghidorah, who was my or to Voldemort there.
Who's
if you don't
that?
know Ghidorah, King Ghidorah is the three-headed massive titan dragon and Godzilla, King of Monsters.
I
Good
almost
luck with
went there.
that one.
Whoa, hold on a second. What are we doing?
Ultron.
here?
He was
Zod
the
has
villain of
that-
the movie.
Zod has that in the bag, but I almost went to that universe.
Yeah, Zod would punch a hole straight through his heart, but we'll see. Probably. And then I initially put Wanda, and then I said, I guess she's not really a villain, but her appearance in Doctor
Dark
Strange
Hero.
is pretty damn close to a villain. But I scratched out Wanda and I put Hela. So I agree with JD. Hela, she's just a badass, man. I loved her in Ragnarok. She had some really cool scenes. The only thing that could beat her was Surtur destroying all of Asgard. So I think she's pretty capable.
Oh, we should have just put Surtur on our list.
Right? Jeez. Bring in Sal Maroni.
Did he voice Surtur?
Yeah.
No way.
Dude, he's voiced so much stuff.
Oh yeah.
Clancy Brown, guy's a legend.
He's a Mandalorian.
All right.
Mr. Krabs.
Mandalorian. He's in The Punisher. He's in a ton of stuff. He was the main villain in The Punisher for a point there too. He's in so much stuff. Anyways. All right. Let's head on out of the villain era here, and we're gonna hop into our next little category within categories, and that's the land of Westeros. We're gonna head on over to our Game of Thrones corner, and I'm gonna let Caleb here start us off. So, Caleb, what's your first Game of Thrones corner here?
Well, something was trending on TikTok maybe a month or two ago, and JD did post it on my video on that platform. To go check it out. And it is your dream small council. So who would you want as your? So say you're the king. We're not going to pick a king. You're the king or queen, if any female listeners are out there. And you're going to pick your hand, coin, whispers, or master of whispers, excuse me. And then master of ships, your lord commander of the king's guard, and then 3 king's guardmen to go under him. So Dave, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, I can do this. So I have got my hand being the one and only Tywin Lannister. Started off with Tyrion, was working through some stuff, But I think at Tywin's peak, God, it's tough. It's tough. Tyrion was a little bit more clever and
Witty.
and unorthodox compared to Tywin, whereas Tywin was
Tywin's
just
old school.
lock solid in everything. So I'm giving Tywin the hand there. Master of Coin, is going to Mr. Otto Hightower. Bring him down.
Ooh.
Very smart, very cunning man as well. He knows how to run a realm. He'd be a great hand, but it doesn't hurt for him to be the hand to the hand, being a little Master of Coin, dropping a little tides of wisdom here and there. My Master of Whispers, I had Bloodraven. I wanted to switch it up and go with Bloodraven. But then I thought, who has a better whisper than Bran the Builder or the Broken? Damn it.
The opposite. Building and breaking.
Bran, because
That's who he was
who
named
would?
after.
It is. He's named after Bran the Builder, and he might have been Bran the Builder reincarnated. We don't know yet in the books. It's still
there you go.
kind of
Good
a
save.
thing they've teased.
Thanks. Saving a beat.
Thanks, George.
But Bran there, who would be better? I mean, he knows everything. He knows the history of everything. He can literally warg into places and ravens and land wherever and get information. I mean, he's literally the perfect person for a Master of Whispers. Master of Ships going to the boy Corlys Valerian. Let him take over. That man knows his way around a ship. He's going to be running all of the ships. Lord Commander is going to one who has already proved he's a great Lord Commander, and that is Mr. Jon Snow. Bring him on down. He was a great Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. I don't think he's as much as a Kingsguard as he is a leader. So I'm going to let him run the Lord Commander position there. And then my 3 Kingsguard are going to be Jaime Lannister, Selmy Barristan, and Sir Arthur Dayne.
Wow, you demoted Barristan.
Well, what do you mean? Was he Lord Commander?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too
yeah.
old. No. Peak Selmy, yeah, I'm still putting him at the Kingsguard. Jon Snow, he's a leader. Selmy's a fighter. We'll go.
He's too old to fight. You want the leader.
You can't make him Lord Commander. He's too old.
That's what Josh should have done. You can stay, just demotion.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
JD.
Okay. My hand is Tywin. That's the same. And my God, you had such a great choice for the Master of Whispers. That's such a deep take. But my Master of Whispers is Tyrion. I think he's very cunning and social, and I think he would get that job done.
Yeah.
Damn, you had a good coin too, Dave. But I'm gonna go with the Mountain. No, I'm just kidding. Not the Mountain.
Just out there ringing necks for money.
Just murdering people left and right.
$5 plus $7. No, I went with Catelyn Stark. I don't know. She's probably good with money. And she'd,
I could see it.
whatever. Catelyn Stark. I think she'd be a solid coin. All right, and then I got my ships is Stannis Baratheon. He knows the water. He knows the ships, and he's a as long as Tyrion doesn't blow him up with dragonfire, he's probably going to do pretty good in the water.
That's true.
So, but Tyrion's on his side. He's going to talk about the whispers and make sure that no one else is going to blow him up with dragonfire. Lord,
Gonna talk about the whispers.
Lord Commander, same. Jon Snow.
Yes.
Because I pictured Lord Commander's in charge of everything. The King's Guards are going to be more down in the ditches, swinging swords, right? So my 3 King's Guards are Jaime Lannister, Bronn, and the Hound.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I like that.
That'd be a fun group to go get a drink with. You kidding me? Jamie, Braun, and the Hound. The Hound
by the end of the
might kill
night.
them by the end. Yeah, but it'd be fun to watch.
They cover the whole spectrum. Jamie's cunning, quick. Braun is somewhere in between him and the Hound is pure brute force.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They're killers.
I like it.
So I did put Tywin for my hand as well, but
Oh.
I'm switching it to Tyrion now. If you guys
No,
go with
you
Tywin, I'm
can't
going
do that.
Tyrion. Gotta
Cheating.
switch it up. And I do have Otto Hightower for my coin. I was gonna put Littlefinger at first
really?
because he can make golden dragons appear out of nowhere, as they say.
Yeah.
But even though he owes like the Lannisters like 30 million dragons, but hey, they're still putting on tourneys.
Semantics.
But yeah, Otto Hightower, he's the hand in House of the Dragon, but he comes from the richest family in all of Westeros, so like he's got it.
Right.
Whispers, I mean, you guys try to get too cute with it. You gotta go Varys,
You're
man.
going
Just gonna go
Come on.
Varys.
Come on, like
That's who I put initially. And then
Right.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do here.
yeah, a lot.
He's a
At
G.
first, my whole small council was like season 1, and I was like, wait, I can't just do like season
Same.
1, right?
Yeah.
like
yeah.
like Littlefinger, Varys, but Master of Ships, I got Davos. He is the
Okay.
the seafarer.
Yeah.
And Lord Commander, I have Barristan Selmy. You gotta keep that elder, that respect up. He's been running it for 50 years. He still got it, and he's out. He's the more of the general now. And then for my 3 Kingsguard, mostly the same. I have the Hound, who of course you think is a total bastard at first, but he's got a heart. And Jaime, 2-handed Jaime, of course. Give me that arrogant young bastard. And then my 3rd is Daemon Targaryen.
Ooh, good call.
So he's got Dark Sister. He's got a dragon. I mean, he will be a little
Dude.
unruly. If you go out to drinks with the 3 of them, something bad will happen as well. But he's a badass.
Yeah. Can you use your dragon if you're a Kingsguard?
Fuck
King
yeah.
asks
Yeah, I
us.
mean, bring it in. Yeah. Stupid question. Shut up. This was fun though, honestly, because like you said, the first like 6 categories there, I went pretty just because I Littlefinger coin, Varys Whispers. It's like, okay, yes, they were the fools we first saw, but they are like the best in the history of Westeros
Right.
to an extent. But it was fun getting. I almost put Yara Greyjoy as my Master of Ships.
Okay.
She was my OLI on that, but yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed that little exercise.
Right?
All right, well, I know you got something else in the Game of Thrones corner before I get into a little theory time. So what else you got?
So we're going to rank the Starks. So we have, of course, there's 8 of them? 9 of them?
9.
9.
So we're including the
9?
the whole family. Of course,
No.
Catelyn is a Stark. We have Benjen. Don't forget about Rickon. So JD, you want to do this one first? Maybe start from bottom.
Bottom?
To number 1 last.
All right, my very bottom is freaking Bran, dude. Probably my least favorite screen time in all of Game of Thrones. My God, he was boring. With the exception of season 1 and maybe 2, I think he was like adorable. I loved Bran so much in season 1, but my God, every time this dude came on screen and just stared with this like face of I wish I was ominous kind of,
I'm gonna go now.
dude, I couldn't stand his screen
It
time.
was only season 6 and on, all right?
I couldn't freaking do it. And like, he did not live up to any expectations. He didn't do anything. He didn't ride a dragon. He didn't give them any super important information. He was just there as a super ominous character that did nothing. Get out of here, Bran. You might as well be the Watcher in Marvel Universe. Number 8. I got Rickon because he just didn't have a lot to do. But he's up 1 on Bran because I didn't dislike him. He just didn't do anything. So, that was more of a subtraction by addition compared to Bran, right? In a way. Number 7 is Sansa. She went through a lot. She went through probably more than anybody who survived in Game of Thrones. And just that is a huge testament to her character. But at the same time, towards the end, she became kind of annoying. And at the same time, she just was the victim the whole time. So it's not like she's like my favorite Stark. She didn't, I don't know, do much, but I feel bad saying that because she went through so much. Number 6, I got Benjen. Benjen was badass. He was entertaining in every scene he was in. He was either like fun or funny or talking to Jon. Very limited, but at the same time, he also saved Jon towards the end. You don't have Jon without Benjen. Jon would have died without Benjen showing up there.
True.
Number 5, I got Ned, the father figure. Love his presence, but he was kind of dumb. He was way too trusting, way too honorable, and way too easily manipulated. Are you kidding me? He's just gonna let Cersei walk all over him, leading to that death. Like, dude, You should have done better. You should have done something more sneaky. You should have just ditched your honor to survive for your family. Come on, Ned. Love the guy, but I even got Catelyn over Ned.
Oh,
Where do you think she goes? She
that's-
hasn't showed up yet.
I didn't even think about her because that's
Bro.
how bad she is.
No, Catelyn,
Oh, she was the worst.
ferocious. She was the best, and well,
Yeah,
not the
towards
best.
her
She's
son.
fourth place.
She really
She-
showed that son of hers.
She would not have been worked in King's Landing the way Ned was worked. Like, what was it that Ned did that Cersei? She was just too honorable to fucking tell the.
He
tell
told her
everybody.
that he knew. He
Told
said, "I know your
Cersei
kids
the
are
whole
bastards."
thing. That's the stupidest thing, and it got him killed. And it set up
Yeah.
the whole series. To be honest, I mean, it set up a lot of great things in the future. But my God, that was so stupid. That was so stupid. He ruined everything. He got himself killed. Arya's lost. Sansa's married to Joffrey. His decision fucked up his whole entire family. Okay, and Catelyn at least is ferocious as fuck, even though she died at the end. But I mean, taking blades to the hand, protecting Bran, all that stuff. Catelyn's a badass, and she was a freaking zombie in the books that's coming back for revenge, killing everybody.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It doesn't. All right, number 3, I got Arya. Adorable in the first couple seasons, and then becomes a complete badass. Everyone thought she died. Then she came back as a freaking daredevil and killed everybody. Even killed the Night King in a really savage way. That was pretty dope. So Arya right there, and then number 2 is Rob or John. What do you think?
Better be Rob.
It's John.
Oh, you're disgusting. You disgust
The only
me.
reason the first half of the series, his dialogue was kind of boring. His screen time wasn't my favorite in the first half of his season. Even in the middle of the season, he was just okay screen time wise. His story and character evolved quite a bit. I loved every second he was on screen in the second half. But my reason for Rob as first is, of course, winning battle after battle as the underdog, which I thought was the coolest thing in Game of Thrones. That was the most heartbreaking death by far. That was so savage, him sticking it to the Lannisters as an underdog. And what does it for me over Jon is he didn't have plot armor protecting him the whole series. He was raw. He was a raw character, a real character.
Died so quick.
And he freaking died because of it. Yes.
Because
but
he's an
Rob-
idiot. Speaking of Ned being an idiot, he screwed his whole family over too by marrying some whore instead of just keeping his word to the phrase. He literally killed his entire family and his mom because of that decision. But anyway,
That's true.
I'll hold off until my list.
True. That's true. Ooh. But no plot armor for this guy. He went out dying. But I mean, fuck. That's a great point. I just had to do.
Rob's dope. Rob's dope.
Everyone's gonna have John. Everyone's gonna have John first. I had to get Rob.
I actually don't.
Plus his.
do
Oh hell yeah. But Rob's screen time was also like more fun. His dialogue was better. He was like more entertaining as an actor, as a character. Before John started doing really cool shit in the second half of Game of Thrones, I loved Rob so much.
That's fair.
Straight up.
All right, Dave, get into it.
All right, number 9, Rickon. Who cares? Number 8, Catelyn. Just the worst. Treated John like garbage. Wished he would die because she was jealous of him. A kid almost died, and now he still treats him like garbage.
That was fucked
I
up.
just didn't enjoy many of her. Lets Jaime free, breaks Rob's thing, and causes that entire division between his army because she decided to let him free in hopes that they would release the Sansa and Arya, even though Rob goes, do you think we would release Jaime if, yada, 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 like that? That was just a terrible idea. Went behind his back and freed Jaime, which might have led to a lot of unpleasant things happening there. But main point, I just didn't enjoy Catelyn on screen much at all. I liked her part in the Red Wedding where she stood up and grabbed the wife and got nasty real quick, but she was also kind of dumb because there's no way Rob is going to be let go at that point anyways. So it was desperation. I don't blame her for that, but I just didn't enjoy it that much in this show. Number 7, Sansa. Yes, she was a victim, but she was absolutely unbearable in the first 2 seasons. She started getting smart got a little better at stuff, and then proceeded to lie to John and lie to a bunch of other people and play these games like she was Littlefinger's daughter. And I just, she'd probably be lower, but she had a cool character arc. I will say that she had a really good character arc over the series as a whole. Right above her, I have Bran. I actually, on my rewatches, I don't mind Bran until season 6. After Hodor, Hold the Door, after that, it's interesting. I like finding out more about the Three-Eyed Raven, but as a whole, obviously, if it delivered, maybe it would have been better, but it didn't go anywhere, so it just feels like a waste of time. But I liked his trip journeying north of the Wall with Homegirl. I forgot what her name was. Ramsay ended up stabbing her in the throat. Yara? No. God, what was her name? You guys know what I'm talking about. The wildling chick who the Starks took in. And they changed her and Yara's name in the books from the books because they had the same name or something in the books. I don't remember what her name was. Asha. There you go. Yeah, I enjoyed that until he became the Three-Eyed Raven, and then it started dropping off a little because they didn't do anything with it. Right above him, I got Benjen. Not a lot, but he was dope in everything he was in. I loved his character, especially as Adar. I thought it was cool, too. Number 4, I got Robb. He did have dope sequences in the early part of the series. I loved his war scenes. He had a lot of cool, like, that's a 17-year-old standing up to these guys, has his wolf go bite homie's hand off to, like, get respect in front of all the Northmen. The King of the North chants, all that stuff. It was dope. So I enjoyed Robb. I just, at the end of it, he blew it. I mean, he doomed the rest of what their family was left after the whole Ned thing. Arya at number 3, badass. She was super fun to watch through the whole series, except for the House of Black and White. On my rewatches, I do not enjoy those scenes in season 6 where she goes blind and she acts as a oyster salesman and whatever the hell else she does. Number 2, Jon, which this even surprises me because Jon's my favorite character in the series. Absolute legend. I've gushed enough about him, but I freaking love Jon, and he had so many moments from start to finish of basically dude was trying to get himself killed time after time and somehow surviving every time, pulling through. Nothing but honor in that bloodstream of his. Number 1 is Ned. Ned, the patriarch, the absolute legend who taught all of these Stark people to be who they became because he was that good of a father. He was that wise. He was that strong leading up to that point. Yes, his honor got him killed at the end and caused some chaos in his family, but I respect the fact he was able to hold still. And I love his line to Varys where Varys goes, just submit, say you did it, whatever, like abandon your pride. And he goes, you were raised with actors and you learned your craft well. I was raised with soldiers. I learned to die a long time ago. And that right there is just like, that was a bar. All right, do what you got to do, Ned. Stupid choice. His honor got him killed and screwed his family, but he was still an absolute legend. And he, pound for pound, one of the best characters in the series. If he would have gotten more seasons, that man would have continued to flourish in the show. But unfortunately, George had him be a little dumb.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Ned's screen time was amazing.
Oh, yeah. He
Shout out
carries
Sean
that first
Bean.
season. All right, so
Lub,
my list.
what are we looking? Yeah.
Last, I have Rick on as well. Prometheus School of Running Away from Things. Like, come on, bro. Swag to the side a little.
Zig Zag.
Then I have Sansa. It's mostly because of the first few seasons on a rewatch.
Unbearable.
Her just betraying her family to stay with Joffrey because she wants to have this life of flowers and love, and from the songs she hears, like,
I don't
my
want
God.
someone brave and honorable. I want him.
But yeah, later in the show, she does grow on me for sure. Then I have Benjen. He's dope, but not in it very much. He does kind of show Jon the ropes a little bit. I mean, barely actually, before he goes off and dies.
Yeah.
Then he comes back as Cold Hands. And then I have Catelyn. She's kind of the same reasons where the first few seasons, the way she acts to Jon, she kind of grows. I mean, she kind of starts to realize maybe Tyrion didn't actually do it, so she does have that kind of level-headedness about her. And Lady Stoneheart in the books is pretty dope. Next, at number 5 is Bran. So Book Bran is one of my favorite characters. Like him in the
Yeah.
book is dope.
Super
Him in the
interesting.
show, not as much. Like I don't think the actor. I think that whoever I don't even know his name, but I think he was better as a young child than an adult. Like when he got to or a teenager. He did a better job as a child than when his role expanded and he was required to do more. He didn't really live up to that.
Yeah, I always wondered if that was the writing or him. I couldn't tell, but I agree. It dropped off for sure.
Number 4 is Rob. I mean, obviously the hero of the first few seasons. Well, you guys talked about it. He fucks it up at the end. Number 3 is Arya.
Okay.
I mean, Arya. I liked Arya from season 1 to season 8 almost till the end. Like she's one of my favorite characters in the first few seasons. When she goes to King's Landing, she's getting like the dancing lessons with Magister Syrio. And then goes off on her own with the Hound. Those are some great scenes. Finds the Brotherhood. Like, Arya's dope. And then number 2 is Ned. I do have him not at number 1, but he is number 2. Yes. But he's dumb, he's honorable. But when Varys tells him, like, hey, the decision you made could lead to your daughters being in danger. When he's up there in front of everyone, he does
True,
lie.
he did give in.
He gave
I
in
forgot
and he
about
said,
that.
like,
yeah.
yes, like, Joffrey is the true king. Like, I
That's
was wrong,
right.
and he's going to get sent to the wall. And Joffrey's, like, at the last second, kills him. So, in the end, he did see his faults, but he still...
Forgot about that.
Yeah, R.I.P. And number 1, if you didn't know, is Mr. Aegon Targaryen himself, Jon Snow. Jon Stark. He's not even technically a Stark at all, but he's number 1 for me.
Well, Lyanna Stark was his mom.
Oh, that's true. He's half Stark.
yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean... And
I like to see a Dany fan have to put Jon as number 1 on the list. It just makes me happy.
And yeah, obviously the My Queen. When he met Dany, his character went down pretty fast. But
so fast.
first,
aside
5,
from the
6
dragon
seasons,
riding,
the dragon.
that
riding
was the
dope.
only part that elevated when she came in.
But then they just let the dragon fly by itself and it dies because they didn't notice the giant.
Forgot
ships
about the
involved.
fleet.
Yeah, they forgot about that. All right.
I will say, forgetting about Rob's decision to just marry this new girl was so dumb. Take that out, though. I'm so happy with him as number 1. But god damn it, dude, what the fuck?
And it also
that's a
sucks
tough
that the
one.
budget wasn't as big back then, so a lot of the battles you didn't see a
Right.
lot of.
We coulda
Like,
gotten
he
some
won, but you didn't get to
amazing
see it
stuff.
a lot.
That's true. We only saw the outcome, but he was so tricky. It was so dope. In a season where we felt like the Starks were fucked.
Yeah.
It was such a dumb decision. You almost forget about it because it was so. That doesn't make sense, but it was just so stupid that you almost probably try to forget about it. It's our brain trying to defend itself and forgetting about it. It's like trauma.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say it's a trauma response. You gotta forget about that. Before we head out of this corner of Westeros, the Game of Thrones topic, I have a little theory that I saw a while back, and I thought it was pretty interesting, so I just wanted to throw it out there and see if it caught any interest of you guys here. But there's a White Walker theory that's floating around. And I don't exactly remember how this came to be, but I don't remember if it was a Reddit theory or what it was, but it was super interesting. So the theory is that the White Walkers were almost like angelic figures, with the ice representing purity and preservation. They're coming to Westeros to cleanse the land and start over after sleeping for thousands of years because Westeros has grown so corrupt and sinful over the years. And they spare the young Night's Watch guy in the first episode, possibly due to him being an innocent at that time. They spare Sam later on as he hides behind a rock beyond the wall, and he was a virgin at that point who had never killed anybody, possibly, again, still being pure in the eyes of the Walkers, so they just left them be. The White Walkers never kill children, but rather turn the babies into the others species due to their innocence, not killing them, but maybe purifying and preserving them. The whites are dead, but the walkers aren't. They're a different being than the resurrected whites who were unpure that were killed. With them being the ice and the pure side of things, this makes the Targaryens and Dragon Riders the impure side of things, almost representing demons to the walkers' angels. They are of fire and blood. They conquer and kill and control. And it all came down to the chosen one, Dany, who after the walkers failed to stop her, she ended up slaughtering an entire city and continuing the chaos and death that had spread across Westeros, leaving the cycle to continue. I thought that was super interesting. Like, just thinking of the White Walkers cleansing Westeros. I just had never even considered that to be an aspect of it, and I don't think that's what George had in mind, but I thought it was a super creative theory to come up with.
Right, they're trying to stop the Targaryens from burning everyone alive and creating their own world.
Just spreading more death and, chaos and everything that the Targaryens... It was just... I don't know. I loved it. I don't know. Did it do anything for you guys?
I only love it because of like this new age of movies and shows where it's like not like cookie cutter heroes do the right thing, villains do the wrong thing, but like this morally complex situation where you as the audience have to decide what side you're on about it. And I love that aspect about it. It does scream like just fan theory stuff, whether or not it's like you said, it's probably not what George had in mind, but I love the fact that it's not like the whites are just pure villains, you know. There's a history that might speak another language to you. So that is pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm sure if you peeled back some stuff and dove deeper, there'd be some plot holes that came along with that theory. I myself haven't, but I'm sure if somebody dove deep, they could find some issues with it. But it was super creative. There's a lot of creative fan theories out there that are almost better than stuff we get produced.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head out of Game of Thrones, and we are going to head into a little elimination game series here, special category round. Elimination game. So what these are is basically you bring up a hypothetical list, and you make somebody have to eliminate one of those things from the list. So we're going to start this off. JD, I'm going to go straight to you, and Lub will follow up, and I'll answer at the end. So I'm going to give you 4 movies. And you're going to have to pick one that your future kids will never get to see. And there's a very real possibility that everybody picks the same one out of these 4. And if that's the case, then we're going to bring it down to those 3. And you're going to have to pick one out of those last remaining 3 of your kids will never get to see it. You can't talk to them about it ever. You can't watch it with them. They don't know it exists. They never get to experience these movies. And the list goes like this. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Oh, what? You got a question?
Me? No, I was just saying, please put Love and Thunder on this list.
No. This is supposed to be difficult. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. The Dark Knight. And Spider-Man 2. Again, I have a feeling, but JD, which one of those would you eliminate?
You should just do the whole trilogy.
Yeah, it was something about sequels though. It was something going around. Yeah.
Okay. Out of all those, I'm gonna pick Spider-Man 2 to get rid of.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, and that's my pick too. So I had a feeling that would be the case. That was what was floating around. We're cutting that out, JD. We're back to you. Empire Strikes Back, The Two Towers, The Dark Knight. Your kids never get to see one of them. You never get to talk to them about it. Which one do you pick?
It's The Dark Knight. Yeah, and we're not talking about favorite movies, but my God, Lord of the Rings and the Star Wars, those movies that's history, man. Those are in the history books. Let's just get rid of the Dark Knight. They got to see Star Wars. They got to see Lord of the Rings.
All right. That was easier than I thought it would be. Lub, what do you think?
It's not easy. Because the Joker is like the greatest villain portrayal.
Do you want your kids to watch that Joker? No.
When they get older too. They don't have to watch when they're 6. Yeah.
That was more of a joke.
Star Wars and Lord of the Rings you could introduce at a younger age. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man. No, it has to be The Dark Knight because Star Wars and Lord of the Rings is more of a journey. You know, it's more of you're diving into a whole nother universe.
Something different about those.
Grounded, you know?
Yeah. So you could still see all the other Star Wars movies, but The Empire Strikes Back is that important of a part of the journey that you wouldn't want them to. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, damn it. I think we all three have the same answer because I guess I was almost
down
going
to
back
2.
and forth with some stuff, but that's fair. Dark Knight. All right, yeah, that's fair. JD, Empire Strikes Back or Two Towers. What's the last one standing for you?
For the personal impact it had on my life, I'm getting rid of Empire Strikes Back because The Two Towers is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had in my whole entire life.
And
So,
he's convulsing wherever he is right now.
We better be careful. We're not going to make it onto his Rings of Power episode. We keep going this direction. Okay, Lub.
I'm going Star Wars. I have to pick Star Wars in the end. You know, it's just.
And oh, you're going to keep Star Wars.
I'm gonna keep Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, good. We got a little mix-up because I am in no way in hell ever giving up the Two Towers. So we got a couple of different answers there. There we go.
fuck, dude, it gives me chills thinking about the first experience. Like, The Two Towers was like something that is so unbelievable. It's there, you know?
All right. Well, I got one more, and for some reason, I don't know why this was the topic going. Actually, I kind of came up with this one, branched off of that, and I continued the future kids thing. I'm going to include kids and yourself. You are aware of its existence, but you can never watch it again, and your kids never get to watch it again. So,
But we've seen it in the first place?
yes, you have seen it, but you can't talk
Okay.
to about your kids, and you can't tell them about it at all.
You can't
Or watch it ever again.
Can't watch it.
Or watch it ever again, and your kids can never see it for their entire life. So, what franchise or franchise pairing would you pick if you had to eliminate one of these that your future kids and you will ever get to watch? Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, or Marvel and DC? I'm hoping
Wait, can
this
you-
will be more difficult. Yeah.
You
yeah,
cannot
we got
watch
it.
any Star Wars movie ever?
Yep. Any Star Wars movies. You can still watch series, but movies are gone. You can never watch them again, and your kids will never watch a Star Wars movie.
What about
I'm
new
eliminating
ones?
I'm eliminating Star Wars first.
Can you watch new ones that come out, or you never watch a Star Wars movie again?
Nope. Not even anything coming out in the future. You do not get to see that masterpiece that Ray is going to be maybe taking part in. Maybe. All right. JD got rid of Star Wars. Lub?
Well, I'm gonna get rid of Lord of the Rings because
Ah.
I mean I know it's messed up and I do want to watch it again, but how many more movies are we gonna get in the future compared to and never being able to watch
I
Star
don't
Wars
need
again?
any
Like,
more.
yeah, I'm sorry, I have because in the MCU, like that's like over 30.
It's a lot of movies.
I'm never gonna be able to watch again, and just 3 Lord of the Rings movies, I guess. It's
6.
sad. I don't want to see
Hobbit counts too.
Okay.
Any Lord of the Rings movies. Or the Rohirrim, Hunt for Gollum. Come on, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
don't want to see any of them go, but Lord of the Rings.
All right. Well, look at us. Look at us, because I'm kicking Marvel and DC to the curb. My kids will absolutely watch Lord of the Rings. There is no way in hell they won't watch Lord of the Rings growing up, and I will watch that every year for the rest of my life. And I would rather watch The Hobbit through The Return of the King. And maybe it's a bitterness point I'm at right now with Marvel and DC. But I'm sticking to that. I just think pound for pound, I got to have that in my life. And my kids got to watch Star Wars too. It's too big for my childhood growing up and in my family and everything. They gotta know who Anakin is. So we're sticking with that. So Marvel and DC, get the hell out of here. All right. Well, I'm glad that had a little bit of
We all picked different.
yeah,
Did we?
that was nice. We did. Everyone different, so good. It wasn't a failure of elimination games. Good job, David. We are moving on to the next one. JD, let's throw it to you. A little birdie told Varys that you had some questions to throw out.
All right, let's start. I'm glad we didn't have to pick the next round of movies. I thought we would have to narrow it down to one. I'm really curious who you guys would have picked, but I guess we'll move on.
Sticking with Lord of the Rings.
Okay. All right, so would you rather? This is a really simple one. Would you rather see Tom Hardy versus Tom Holland, Venom versus Spider-Man movie, or Ben Affleck's Batman movie, fully formed with Deathstroke, the concept art, and all? Which movie would you pick? Love, let's let Dave think about this one. Which one you got?
That is tough because the one thing that is lacking from the Venom movies is Spider-Man. And Tom Hardy is a good actor and a good portrayal of that character, but it's lacking that nemesis that he needs.
Yeah.
But also that Ben Affleck movie would have been pretty sick. I don't trust DC, so I'll go with Tom Holland versus Tom Hardy. The Tommy
That's
boys.
fair. What if it's James Gunn's DC and not Zack Snyder's DC?
Can Zack Snyder be like a producer while James Gunn directs?
He still wants him in it. He just doesn't want to run the entire thing. Yeah, it's a good point.
Pick your favorite producer and team. No. Okay, you pick Spider-Man versus Venom. That's fair. Davos.
I think, God, this hurts because Spider-Man and Venom is my childhood and whatnot, but Tom Holland and Tom Hardy specifically, I think, as odd as it may sound, with those being the specific people in it, I think I'm going Batman and Deathstroke. Ben Affleck's Batman was incredible. I feel like that Deathstroke movie would have been an all-time DC movie. I feel like that could have been incredible. And honestly, that if I had the choice of one of those to be made right now, I would pick Batman and Deathstroke over Tom Hardy versus Tom Holland. I think that'll be cool, but Tom Hardy is not my ideal Venom portrayal. He's good in it. I enjoy it, but he's not my ideal Venom. And Tom Holland is good as Spider-Man. He's done great. I don't think he's my ideal one either. And Ben Affleck at this point, he feels like my ideal Batman for a lot of reasons. And with Deathstroke there, I'm going to go with that one. I'm kind of surprising myself on this, passing up on Venom and Spider-Man. But yeah, Batman.
Yep, me too. I would totally pick that one. That's the best on-screen Batman I've seen, not the best movies. And that Deathstroke character looked amazing. And Ben Affleck directing, he's a solid director. And that would be dark, and that would be satisfying. That would just make me, I mean, that just sounds so exciting. So I'm going to do that too. Huh? What? Wait.
Huh? What? What's going on?
I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, I just said, hey.
Hey, okay. All right, next. Let's do this. So we got the Justice League and the Avengers, okay? But they don't have their powers. None of them have their powers. And they are together on one mission. And that mission is carrying the ring.
On one team?
Yeah, they're on one team.
Justice League and Avengers together.
Yes.
Okay.
Their mission is to carry the ring. They don't have powers, but they got to carry that ring to Mount Doom. Who is carrying the ring? And you cannot pick Captain America or Superman.
Oh.
I don't think they could pull off what Frodo did anyway. No, I don't know. Okay. God, that's an interesting question. Huh.
I don't even know my answer, to be honest.
Justice League and Avengers.
Not Iron Man.
Wow.
No, he would get.
No, God. I was gonna say Spider-Man, but I think the ring has a more potent hold than a Venom symbiote would, and he fell victim to the Venom symbiote and was corrupted there. So, I think I'll pass up on Spider-Man. Jeez.
Only a little bit, right? I mean, he tore the suit off.
Yeah, he fought it off at the end.
Yeah.
That's true, and Frodo let the ring corrupt him a little bit before. He didn't fight it off at the end. Actually, he was about to take off with it until Golem bit his finger off. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Spider-Man never killed anyone on it or anything.
True. I think I'd have to go Spider-Man, I guess, just because that whole crew. Even though I just said a reason why he wouldn't, compared to everybody else. I mean, Black Widow is going to be corrupted. Hawkeye is going to be corrupted. My instant answer would be Spider-Man or the Flash. I think.
Ooh, the Flash
from
is
what
a good
I've
one.
seen. The Flash seems to be pretty grounded in his moralities.
And I'm trying to think of like the younger version of the characters, not like Endgame Avengers, more like Avengers 1, where they're kind of, because it's like the beginning of the journey. You know, they'll be like Avengers Endgame of their characters by the time they get to Mordor.
Right. Well, you don't want to pick Fat Thor, yeah.
Right, but a lot of them are more brash and like overconfident when they're younger. You know, so it's hard to pick.
Right.
Because even Thor, like a young Thor, he's a power hungry, you know, like
Yeah,
show off.
I think he's
He'd be
corrupted.
doing tricks and stuff with it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tough. I'd say, no love for Batman.
He's got
No.
a solid, but he's
Too
got
much
him.
darkness
He's
there.
He's got a
grounded,
lot
though.
of darkness. That's
He's
a good
grounded,
choice,
though.
but he's also got morality up the ass. He never killed the Joker.
I think if I went that way, I'd go Nightwing over Batman as far as
He's solid.
fighting that internal corruption.
Well, if you want to go Nightwing, give me Vision.
Well, that's fair. He's an
Ooh.
android, so
No
He
powers.
has no powers.
It's just
but
Paul
he's still-
Bettany.
He's just like a blank mind holding a ring on his finger. He has no idea what's going on.
starts speaking in poems about the ring, whether it's actually real or not and stuff.
He has
I'm
no
gonna say Batman,
biology
though.
to
I think
infect.
Batman could do it, and he could carry the burden compared to other characters.
I think that's a good choice. Flash and Batman. I am leaning towards Wonder Woman. We all got a different choice here. I think she would pull it off. I think she's really steadfast in her character, and she might pull it off. I think Spider-Man's a great choice. Nightwing is an amazing choice. Flash is a great choice. Batman's a great choice. But yeah, I'll go Wonder Woman to be different.
It's a
go.
big fellowship.
Okay.
It's a squad.
That is a squad.
It's
Gotta
funny
worry
that
about some Boromirs popping up.
Hawkeye and Green Arrow would be the most effective people on that team.
A couple of Legolases.
Yeah.
Just tie the ring to an arrow and fire it into the mountain there.
Yeah, but like without powers, they're still
fighting.
them.
Yeah, I got you.
And Black Widow and Hawkeye go from the least important to the most important. They're the only
Right.
ones with
Right.
skills now.
Big promotion.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Tony's just a rich guy.
Let's see the movie made.
Oh, the most
Tony's just getting
corruptible.
Hammered. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Was that the last of your questions there, Jeremiah?
Yep.
All right. So we got 2 categories left. We are going into our next one, which is submitted by Caleb Truly. God, what a weird way to say that. Submitted by Caleb.
Truly,
And
it
that
was.
is who has the best pure origin story. Now, this is not full execution. This is just the concept of their origin, how they got their powers, how they started their journey. Love, it's your category. Why don't you lead us off?
I'm going to go back to back here. I'm going to go with the Batman. I know it's obvious, but like just the way, you know, I mean, I feel like it's overdone because we've seen it so many times, but like, you know, his parents die, he grows up an orphan, and then he sees the city his dad was once trying to make a better place, just this dark, crime-ridden city. So he decides to start dressing up at night and taking down criminals. So, I mean, it's pretty sick. But also I put Captain America because he's like the scrawny guy, signs up for the army, gets the powers. But when he gets the powers, he's still like a prop. You know, he's going all the different shows, dancing around, not being taken seriously. And then he finally, you know, finds his true way and who he should be, and grows to be the character we need, the hero we need. Excuse me.
The hero we need. All right. I like it. I like it. I had to think about it for a second, but I like it. JD, you got anything similar to Lubs, or you got a different one?
I'm pretty confident in mine, Dave. You should go first, and if you don't pick mine, I'm gonna be really excited to say mine.
Okay.
I got an ace up my sleeve, baby.
Oh shit.
So I started writing out something and then halfway through realized that it didn't really fit, I think, what Caleb was going for. I started with Luke Skywalker. And then the more and more I wrote out about it, I realized that's more in the journey as a whole of his origin story. Like, there's a lot of steps. It's not just one thing that started his kick. But he does have a crazy cool origin journey that brought him to where he was. Believe it or not, Batman being my favorite comic book character, I never thought his origin story was that airtight. I think some interpretations do it well. Some, the way they're done, is kind of hard to buy into. It's the classic, everybody knows it, but I never thought it was an airtight thing. And I hate to say it, but one of my least favorite characters growing up, I think has one of the best origin stories, and that's Superman. I think it's a super cool backstory. His planet's being destroyed. He gets sent off to another world by his parents before they die. He lands in this foreign Earth that, unbeknownst to him, he's more powerful because of the type of sun that's there. He's in Kansas. He has to grow up with this farm family and learn how to be this icon in this new world of his. I just think it's a super interesting origin story. So that was always the thing I liked most about Superman, was the origin story. Past that, I always thought it was boring, but I always thought that story was a pretty cool, creative deal.
That's a good choice. I didn't even think of that.
That's a sick choice, yeah. Damn, it's crazy.
I really asked this question to get JD's answer because I knew he would do something good.
You got JD. Pressure's
You're
on.
gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it. But it's the fact that Dave said that about Luke Skywalker talking about. I picked Darth Vader, baby. Let's go. That origin is like one of the best origins ever. But then, David made me feel like I was just cheating a little bit because it's like a 3-movie origin.
Well, I guess Darth Vader's origin would be the
separately
fall of Anakin, right?
Right.
And the rise in his suit. That would be the origin. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good answer.
Best origin ever. Come on. Let's go. I'm surprised y'all didn't pick it. But
I'm kind of
little smells of cheating. Let's go. It's okay. It's all right.
Well, he's got a long journey too, but there is an initial origin that brings him into being Darth Vader, and it's him slaughtering a bunch of kids and then having his mentor cut him into pieces. So it's pretty intense. I mean, it's a wild origin. Yeah. Lub, who did you say? Sorry, Batman.
And Captain America.
And Captain America. That's right. All right. So we got look at us. Look at all this variety on this nerd therapy session. We're all getting out different stuff.
Wow.
All right, well, let's hop into our last category. It's been a long episode, one of our longest in a while. And Caleb has brought us another little fun game here. Hopefully we do better than last time. Lub, what do you got for us here?
Fucking love Lub's games.
We're going to keep it in the box office category, but we're going to do the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time.
Oh, okay.
Not adjusted for inflation, so don't think Gone. What is it? Gone
in the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah, or that's it's adjusted for income. It has like
a turd.
$1 billion.
Would it make like $170,000 or something?
So top 10 highest grossing movies, and I'll say there are some fandom movies on here, as you can imagine. So
yeah, there's some obvious ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
JD, you want to lead off?
JD, I think JD won last time technically, right?
Rules were
he
mixed
stayed
up.
alive longer. Oh, because we did the 3 strikes thing. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So do you want me to go first or you to go first, JD?
JD can go first. If you want. Oh yeah,
All right.
It's your choice. It's your choice.
Dave, you go first. Let's eliminate some obvious ones.
All right. Avatar 1.
That is number 1, 2.9 billion.
There you go. All right.
All right, let's get Infinity War off the board.
That's number 6.
Whoa.
2 million.
That's scary, dude.
All right. Let's go ahead and knock Endgame off the board.
That is number 2, 2.7 million.
I want to consult Google so bad right now. Let's go with...
My brain instantly went to okay, let's type
Just
this
check
in.
real
Wait a
quick.
second. That defeats the purpose.
Yeah. So you said Endgame or Infinity War?
Both of them.
Yeah, they're both.
Okay,
on
those
there
are
now.
off the board. It should be so much easier.
Start overthinking stuff.
Avengers 1.
No.
Really? Oh, fuck. That's strike 1?
Oh wait,
Okay.
it's number 11. Excuse me, it's number 11. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
that doesn't
1.5 billion.
that doesn't count.
That's
I'll
still
take
off
that on the
list,
chin.
but pretty close. kind of brutal how close that was. All right.
Talk to me, Google. Talk to
So
me.
JD's got one strike. I am going to lead into The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens is number 5 at 2 million.
You scared me for a second there. All right. All right, JD.
Oh, Avatar 2.
That is number 3 at
Okay.
2.3 billion.
God, I hate James Cameron. Okay. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, there it is. Number
Is that
7.
number 4? 7. Oh.
$1.952 billion.
Dang.
Cash
1 point. That's almost 2 mil.
Bill.
bill.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The Last Jedi. Luke
No,
Skywalker
Last
returns,
Jedi
but
is
no
not on the
way,
list.
no way. 2 strikes. Bet.
Last
All right.
Jedi is 21.
Damn. How much total for Last Jedi?
1.33.
Okay, I was gonna say at least made $1 billion, right? Okay. So we have 1, 2, and 4 knocked out.
You have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so we don't have 4 yet. Okay. I am up to the plate, so I will go ahead. Oh, you know what?
Don't say what I'm thinking. Don't do it.
I feel like it's an animated movie.
Oh, you're good.
Oh,
Hit it.
Into the Spider-Verse.
No, no, that's not on there.
Is that anywhere close?
I don't think so.
All right, that's one strike.
My God, how embarrassing.
One strike with a side of humiliation.
Titanic.
Titanic, number 4.
Oh, that was the 4 spot. Look at
2.2
you.
billion. James Cameron.
Wow. Wait, so how many spots do we have left?
8,
We're
9,
close.
and 10.
8, 9, and 10. JD's got 2 strikes. I've got 1. Holy tamale. All right.
I'll say it's not fandom we cover in these movies.
No more? No more
The
fandom?
remainders, they're
That we-
all outside of our
that we co-
fandom
yeah,
that we
that-
cover?
yeah.
Okay. I know there's another animation movie in there. I guess Into the Spider-Verse wasn't close.
It's
but
funny you're not getting it too.
Why would there be an animation movie in there?
Oh, my God. Well, Inside Out 2.
Yeah, that's the
I was
one.
going to say, that hit like 1.5, didn't it?
Yeah, Inside Out 2 is number 8.
Oh,
Hey, my box office team helps me in the end.
So they both have come out within the last 10 years. The last 2.
9 and 10? Mm-hmm. Okay. Pressure's on, JD.
I feel it. I feel it.
One is under the Disney umbrella.
Moana.
No.
Strike 3. That's it. Bye. I'll see you guys on the next episode.
It's
We
1-1.
gotta try to. All right. Despicable Me 2. No.
No Despicable Me.
No? I thought one of those hit like 1.4 billion. I almost typed it in, but I don't want to type in anything to make it look like I'm
I
looking.
just
up
want to
something.
recall to my own embarrassment. I was like, why would there be an animated movie on there? And sure enough.
There's a lot of over $1 billion animated movies. Yeah.
Minions is the highest grossing one.
Oh, and that's not even top 10?
28.
What the hell? There's got to be a ton of movies in between that range then.
So the Disney movie is not animated, and it came out within the last 5 years.
There's 2 more.
There's 2 more.
Okay. Well,
Disney.
JD, you can take another stab. I know I won already, but we're gonna knock this out as a team still.
Non-fandom.
The director
Still
is
Disney.
someone we're fond of. He works in a fandom we used to enjoy.
Okay. All right. Well, for the fans at home, if you're thinking too, You just keep on thinking along with us. We're gonna get this together.
It's a
I
remake.
got it.
It's a remake of
I
an
think
animated
The
movie.
Lion King.
Yes,
Yep, that's it.
That's
Jon
what I was
Favreau.
gonna. There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
That was
Okay.
within 5 years, though.
2019.
Wow. Okay. That was gonna be one of my next guesses, but then you said 5 years, and I was like, oh, maybe something else.
And then the last one is a remake from the 90s as well. There is a Marvel character in these movies.
An actor?
A Marvel actor in these movies, excuse me.
It's a sequel from the 90s or a reboot.
Either one.
You don't know.
Oh, it's a reboot. Excuse me, reboot.
I know I'm like, when you say it, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, but it's hard to think of on the spot right now. Well, I guess it's my guess. Come on, man. Come on. Wake up, you idiot.
Come on, man, wake up.
90s. Happy Gilmore 2. There you go.
There you go.
That'd be dope.
That's it.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna guess it. I don't think I'll get it off the top of my head here. JD, do you have any last guess on it before Lub reveals it?
Hell no.
It's Jurassic World.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
1.67 billion. Chris
Wow.
Pratt.
Interesting. Yeah.
What? Oh, Into the Spider-Verse did like 400 million because it was during some weird release. That's right. Across the Spider-Verse was the one that did better, but apparently that one ain't that good either, huh?
That was like 800 million, I think, which is still solid. But
That's wild.
I think I like the first one better.
so for the future ones, I might have to do like pick like a website's top 10 list and just like go off of what they said. Maybe like top 10 comic book characters of all time or something like that. We'll see.
Like a popular something, like a big website or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
You're batting 100, bro. Just keep the games coming.
That was fun.
Yeah. Or you could do, no. You're the master here. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job.
You should do this instead.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up here. This was a very healthy and helpful nerd therapy session here on the couch. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you to my co-hosts Caleb and JD for joining us. Continue to tune in. Again, we will be covering the Penguin and many more things to come. We're always dropping stuff on the socials, so be checking. And we will see you next time on Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. I think I clicked end recording before I even finished the word podcast, but that's fine.
We'll drown it out with the outro music.
There you go.
You can start the intro. I'm going to go take a piss.
Well, it's
All right.
kind of late. Should we? You guys still want to do it?
I'm
You want us to do
down.
a double next week?
This
should
will
we
be
do it?
short. This will be short.
All right, we can fly. Let's fly through.
If
then.
you guys are down. If you guys
Just a
are
quick one, like a 20-minute-er.
down. Yeah, do a 25-minute-er. It's up to you guys. I don't give a
Lub, are you leaning? What are you leaning?